we go. Not a lot of luck on the opening hand, just red mana. We're going to mulligan this one. Definitely mulligan here. Opponent keeps 7. Not dead after all, and we have Fury this time. I think we're fine to keep this one. We're going to keep the Fable, and there's some situations where I get rid of the Fury. For now, I think that we will possibly get rid of the Stalactite Stalker and then just try to bridge the gap to 3 mana. Troll of Khazad-dûm is nice. I think I'm going to keep that. Maybe I get rid of Not Dead After All. Hard to say. That helps me with Fury, though, so I don't know. Opponent could be on Belcher here. I am yet to play a Belcher deck after the recent updates. So I think in this case we need to just dig for Grief here. Fury doesn't mean anything right now. Troll will be what we do. I'm going to thin my library here since I think if we die all at once. So I don't really miss the life. I think this is almost certainly what I think it is. We know that they demonic tutored, so there can be a Belcher in hand already. I'm gonna find Surveil lands because I just need to look at as many cards as possible here. And yeah, if we can just find a Grief here, we could survive. Assemble the team. I mean, they might just be setting up for a protected win here, and that's unfortunate. Demonic Tutor, assemble the team. They get Veil of Summer and Belcher. Notably, they cannot cast a Veil of Summer right now, so this might be our invitation to just find our Grief. We need to rip it off the top, though. Not Dead After All. That is not what we were hoping for. Bloodstained Mire here. We're going to get Fable out. That will be our potential last turn at finding something. We have to find anything untapped. I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll take a Blood Crypt and shock it just to have a lot more colors. We go Fable here. And I think our opponent just slams a Belcher this turn. And we can't interact. Yeah, nothing in the deck kills artifacts that are on the battlefield that cost that much. Oh, they're actually just going to Boggart Crawler me. Okay. No 4th land. This could have been a land for 3 life, so now I'm a little uncertain as to what's going on. Alright, well, we're definitely discarding 2 cards here. 1, 2 seems solid, or I can just say no to my Raucous Theaters and then find a 3rd one with Bloodstained Mire in general. Not Dead After All helps me get a Fury on the battlefield. I think that I do that in order to kill Boggart Trawler. I just want a body on the battlefield now, but now we don't have red things to pitch. I think I'm going to take a Not Dead After All. I think we only need 1 right now. Need big draws here. This Bowmasters is not bad. We can Molten Collapse, killing both of these, and then get in an attack with our Shaman. I'm going to go like this. I think we want the Fury on the battlefield, though. We can evoke it with Molten Collapse, and then that means that Mushroom's Bauble can't fizzle us. So I'll do this. Cast it with Evoke. We're going to hold full control here, exiling Molten Collapse. Now we're going to let this resolve. Trigger goes onto the stack. Bang. And we will submit the 1. Deal 4 damage to it. I'm actually going to make sure that I hold full control here. And then we're going to Not Dead After All on our Fury. Bang, bang. And here we go. Alright. So the Scam's in action. We're going to have a 3/3 double striker now, which is nice. I'm going to make a stop at the end of their turn. And then Evoke will die. We're going to get it back. Nothing to target here, so we'll submit 0. And now we can attack for 2. Opponent can still just kill me with a Belcher, so that is something to think about. We have 10 damage on the battlefield right now. We can Bowmasters to get another 2, so if they drop a Belcher, we actually still can win. If that's what they use it. And that's what they're going to do, so we're going to just Bowmasters here. They can bobble in response if they'd like, but we have lethal on the board before they can activate their Belcher. Pretty sweet. We're going to have actually lethal +1. I think opponent definitely misplayed. I think we should have died here. The turn that I was looking for my grief was one where they could have just Boggart Trollered, shocked 3, and then dropped the Belcher. Then this turn they kill us. So I think we did a very good job of scaring them into making a defensive play. So pretty good. That'll round out round 4, and we have a 5th and final round coming up. Rakdos has been pretty solid for scam so far, and I definitely have been enjoying this deck. One more round to cap things off, and we'll give some final thoughts at the end. Alright, let's see what this opening hand looks like. Orcish Bowmasters, we do have a Fury. We can pitch either Valakut or Blood-Soaked Insight to it. I think that I am okay with this hand. Let's try it. Bloodstained Mire can pick up something to cycle Troll of Cause of Doom with. Seems fine. Cavern of Souls on Eldrazi. Okay, so we probably want to get our Fury out rather early. Felder Profane might be very good here, and I'm kind of inclined to hold on to it. I think I might just play the Valakut Awakening here. Bloodstained Mire can find... I'm trying to decide if I want to pay life in order to troll and Bowmasters early. I think I will do that. Question is, do I shock here red? I think we need to do it at least once. I will do that now. And then we are going to Swamp Cycle here, finding another black mana. I will take a Surveil land here, just so that we have the option. Fury doesn't need to be cast yet. We do not have any creatures or planeswalkers to deal damage to. Seeing that Cavern of Souls makes me think that we will have the ability to do anything like that soon. Chalice of the Void on 1 here is not going to stop my grief, thankfully. So I think we're going to pitch cast with the Fel the Profane then. We can't scam it back, unfortunately, but this is okay. And then I think I play Bloodstained Mire here and hold up a Bowmaster. So here we go. Hold full control. Grief. Pitch cast. Fel the Profane will be the one that we get rid of. Alright. And actually we don't need to do any full control stuff because we're not scamming right now. Eldrazi Linebreaker and Null Drifter here. We're not really worried about Null Drifter unless it gets cast for the 7 mana. So I think we just get rid of the Linebreaker here. Slow their attack. Now, Chalice of the Void does prevent all the ways of scamming our pitch elementals, so that's something to think about. We'll pass. We hold Fury here for any moderately sized creature that comes later. I think they probably just Null Drifter here. That'd be what makes sense to me. Chalice on 1, though, is pretty nice, not gonna lie. We're just going to Bloodstained Mire here. We're going to pick up Black Mana Source. I think we're going to get a basic Swamp here. Go Bowmasters. Bowmasters is going to be pretty nice. We're going to have to watch out for Chalice on 2 eventually. That will be a problem for us. So we'll evoke here. No scam happening. We have 4 damage on the battlefield here. We have a Demonic Tutor that can go find another Grief, which is nice. Surveil, not dead after all. Unfortunately, not great anymore given the Chalice of the Void. We can't... Oh, Chalice of the Void has 2 CMC on the battlefield because of X equals 1. So I think that our removal spell in Rakdos is not going to work for this, unfortunately. It is what it is. We're definitely surveilling this one away. We can go... I think we can go Demonic Tutor here. I think that getting another Grief seems like the idea. Let's pitch cast a Grief. Make sure that their new 3 cards are not going to be super good. Target them. It's actually just lands, so this is fine. We have a pretty good start here in terms of damage. And if they continue to draw lands, well, we might just win the game as is. I'm kind of considering Valakut Awakening, discarding my Fury. We'll have to see. So yeah, Molten Collapse here. I want to see what happens if I do this. Oh, I can actually target the Chalice of the Void. Okay. I think... Oh, that's right. That's how this works. Chalice of the Void has a 2 CMC on the stack because X has been paid into it, but on the battlefield, it just has X equals 0 because X doesn't count on the battlefield. If that's wrong, the rules people can let me know in in the description, but that's my understanding of how this works. I can hold Valakut Awakening, I think. We can draw some more cards if we need to. Molten Collapse, do I want to do this? I think I do want to hold it. That breaks my Chalice of the Void dependency, and we also can take out whatever big creature they play later. Fury, I think I probably want to discard Valakut Awakening at some point, so I'm going to hold my mana up. I don't think we need to do anything till they deal with my Bowmasters in any way. Alright, let's see what happens. They are starting to have a lot of mana here. Ugin's Labyrinth, I think you need to exile a card with mana value 7 or greater, right? Yeah. Wumpus Aberration, 6/6. That is potentially an issue. Luckily, Molten Collapse is here. Let's go to our turn, and then I think I'm going to Molten Collapse this turn. Next turn, Valakut Awakening, getting rid of my Fury. We find a land here, which is nice. We're going to go Molten Collapse here. Oh, actually, you know what? I do need to play my Fury, I think, if I want to make this work. I think I will then pitch the Fury. No, what am I saying? I have to Valakut Awakening here. And then Molten Collapse doesn't work. I need one more mana. That's awkward. So if I pitch cast Fury, I'm going to be putting them to 5. We're going to give this a try. I don't think Fury is going to be super amazing otherwise. So we're just going pitch cast Fury here. Deal some damage to Wumpus. Sure. And we'll deal all 4 there. Sure. And that is literally just to set up a Molten Collapse so I can cast both things. And we'll clear their board like this. We are Hellbent. They are essentially Hellbent, although they can make a bunch of mana. Darn, Eldrazi Linebreaker is here. That sucks. They did not have this, apparently. 4/3 is not an issue. We have Fable of the Mirrorbreaker, which is a great card here. That will resolve. And then if this is not dealt with, we just loop Bowmasters and eventually kill them. Looks like they probably make this trade here, otherwise they go to 2. That makes sense. And it's going to come down to their top decks versus mine. I think my top decks are a little better, and we have one draw off this Fable of the Mirrorbreaker potentially. I see 7 mana here. 7 mana is where things start to get scary. Fel the Profane here is literally here just in time. We're going to submit 0 here. And we're just going to cast Fel the Profane on this Wumpus. And we're going to put them into a very close to death situation here. Let's get in. Make our treasure, put them to 2. This game's looking very close to over. It's not over, though, because they can drop something enormous and maybe destroy my game plan. Looks like they won't have that. Looks like they must have had 2 lands in hand or something unplayable. Things ended up working out well for us. So that is round 2 finished. I think we had a really, really good time in this one. Let's hop into round 3 and continue the fun. Here we go. Surgical Extraction. That was really good in one of the previous games. Troll of Khazad-dûm, finds me another land, and then this Fable could actually be pretty good eventually. I think if opponent keeps 7, I will keep 7, but if they mulligan, I will as well. They're going to keep 7, so we will copy them. Blitzing Mire helps me surveil. I don't think I'm really doing anything on turn 1, or for that matter, turn 2. Fable of the Mirrorbreaker. We're going to be playing a pretty even game here, it looks like. I'm going to grab a Surveil land off the rip. Here's Raucous Theater. And do I want Reanimate? I think I do. Surgical, nothing to take on their side. We'll pass. Red-green, probably don't need to worry about any pitch elementals right now. Now that I see black, could be the case. Kami of Bamboo Groves, alright. So I have Troll of Khazad-dûm Reanimate next turn. So this is me going like this. Troll Swamp Cycle for, I don't know, Blood Crypt possibly. We're going to have 3 mana, and then do we need to have a 4th mana? I don't know. I'll take a untapped black just in case. We are taking a lot of damage here. We're going to reanimate our troll. Now we have a 6/5. We are at 13 life. We'll pass. Hopefully this will be enough to get us through. They can natural order this turn. If they attack with a Primeval Titan, we do have a blocker that can kill it, which is nice. Will be Fierce Empath? Sure. What big creature are they finding here? Will it be a Crater Hoof? It's probably a Primeval Titan, I'd have to say. I'm seeing a lot of different land types, or land names, that is. It will be Primeval Titan, sure. And we would actually really like a Grief here. Grief would have been really, really nice. Instead, it looks like they might end up being able to cast it this turn, especially if they have, if their 5th land is the Castle Garenbrig. Fable of the Mirrorbreaker is going to be my play. I'm probably discarding 2 cards next turn, looking for Grief. Grief is going to be probably the best draw that I can have. Troll Cause of Doom. Can't be blocked by tiny stuff. This is nice. We'll end turn. If they can't play the Primeval Titan, which doesn't look like they can from this mana, go for the Throat here. Unfortunate. We'll lose this. But it was good for 6 damage. That essentially evened the gameplay, or it evened the game plan here. Windswept Heath, that is a potential surgical target. I don't think we're gonna do that. There could be like some Scapeshift angle to this deck, so who knows. I think I'm probably getting rid of my surgical. A lot of the things that we have to worry about come from Primeval Titan searching the deck. So we're gonna discard 2 here. Spell the Profane is a good one. We want to kill Primeval Titans. And then I have multiple Not Dead after all, so I'll get rid of one of those. I'm going to see what we draw here. No Grief. That's unfortunate. If I Shock, I can play Stalactite Stalker and a second Fable. And I did discard this. Oh, I didn't discard a permanent. That's unfortunate. No fetch lands to speak of right now. I think we will just go with what I said was going to happen. We'll attack, we'll make a treasure. And I don't think their Primeval Titan is going to be hasty unless they do play Hand War Battlements. I think it's probably a smart idea to actually hold up Fell the Profane. I think I might just play a Stalactite Stalker here. Here we go. And yeah, this way we hold up 4 mana for Fell the Profane. You know what? What's the worst that happens in this case? They play a Primeval Titan, find Hand War Battlements, and a red land. Oh, and those come in tapped, right? Yeah, they need to have the 3 Spelunking in order for that to be a thing that they can do. So I just play Fable here. Cool. Alright, I think they are going to get their Primeval Titan here. We're going to kill it with Fell the Profane on our turn. And really all that'll happen is they'll get a little bit of zombies out. Really would have loved to find that Grief in time. Not going to get it though. That's what it is. Alright, so it looks like they can get 2 Field of the Deads here. Yep, they know what's up. So that's 8 power here. And now we got to deal with that. So Not Dead After All doesn't really need to happen right now. Molten Collapse is also pretty good. It actually only hits 1 thing, which is annoying. So we're going to get rid of that. I think Blood Crypt is what we discard. We're decent on mana right now. We get another Not Dead After All, funnily enough. Bloodstained Mire means that our Stalactite Stalker will work now. We're going Fell the Profane here on the spell side, kill the Primeval Titan. And then we will ask them for a trade on our Goblin Shaman. No, we're going to hold that for 1 turn and then start using Kiki Jikis on it. Bloodstained Mire here. We are good on our Stalactite Stalker currently, so we pass. And we'll use the Bloodstained Mire on another turn here. Actually, I think we might Surveil at the end of this turn. Craterhoof Behemoth. That's tough. We have 2 Not Dead After Alls to work with here. Let's see what the damage is looking like. We might be dead, actually. Yeah, I think we're dead. Darn. That will be lethal here. We can block a little bit of damage, but everything's got trample. Opponent is going to take it here. Crater Hoof in the Primeval Titan deck is a little bit different than what I'm used to. It looks like they were on Jund, I think. Jund Primetime. If I can view Battlefield here, we can take a look. Fierce Empath, Cameo Bamboo Groves. A lot of things are standard here. Primeval Titan. Fierce Empath is kind of a departure from what I understand to be the meta, but it does allow you to choose between Primeval Titan and Hoof while making a body for Hoof, so I think that that's a pretty good situation to have. Overall cool deck. They were able to make it home here, and we will move into round 4 now. Today we return to Timeless to take a look at more Modern Horizons 3 cards, and today we are continuing on with the Elemental Scam archetype. And in the last video we played Grief. Now we get to play their brother. I don't know if brother is the right word, definitely not, I would say. But a similar card in Fury. Fury is another pitch elemental that allows you to exile a red card from your hand to pay its mana cost, and if you do, it sacrifices on ETB. What we want to do, if you haven't seen my other video or just are new to the scam archetype in general, is with that trigger on the stack to sacrifice it, you want to cast something like Not Dead After All in order to make sure that it comes back. Or if you want to let it hit the graveyard, then you have things like Reanimate to bring it back for its mana cost in life instead. That is pretty much what we're building this deck around here. We want to have these creatures get reanimated or blinked in order to make sure that they stay on the battlefield after their evoke trigger resolves. And we want to make use of their enter the battlefield abilities, because having that happen multiple times is a lot of value. Grief allows us to essentially Thoughtseize our opponent, and Fury is 4 damage as you divide between whatever your creature or whatever your opponent's creatures are. This card is going to be really, really good against the Soul Sisters archetype, which we've seen so much of in Timeless and Historic, so possibly this is going to be a big existential threat to that deck. We'll have to see going on, but at the very least, we have an interesting deck in front of us today. So this is the main game plan: get Grief, get Fury out, but if that is not something that is completely working for us, well, we have a lot of backups to fall on. From my other Mono Black video, you saw Troll of Khazad-dûm plus Reanimate, that's a thing. In this deck, a lot of the consistency, since we don't have access, since we're not playing a lot of the Mono Black draw engines, is we have Fable of the Mirror Breaker to do that for us. Fable's really good in this build for a lot of reasons. Number 1, it makes mana, which allows us to cast our stuff. Number 2, we get some draws, whereas the rest of the cards in the deck don't really allow that for us. And the big one is on turn 3 when we get our Reflection token. This thing is able to copy non-legendary creatures, which very conveniently are both Grief and Fury as options for this. So not only can we Grief our opponent or Fury our opponent every step, one very cool loop that exists with these cards is that you can wait until your opponent's upkeep, wait for them to draw a card, hold a stop there, and then copy a Grief. And unless the thing that your opponent drew was a instant speed removal spell, well, that Grief is going to cause them to lose that card. And you can kind of just choke people out that way. It's a very good way of finishing a game that you have the advantage in. Other cards that exist here are Orcish Bowmasters, a classic threat in Timeless. Demonic Tutor's back. And we have 2 copies of Molten Collapse in this deck. This is a good card, not only because it pitches to both the elementals, but it's a good way to deal with Vexing Bauble, which I'll very quickly look up here, because this is the new spice that is here to deal with Grief and Fury. This is a card that is new in Modern Horizons 3 as opposed to being a reprint. And for 1 mana, basically, this is turning off all 0 mana spells or any free spells. Much like something like Lavinia would do if you're used to playing that card in other Eternal formats. This card is going to be pretty much just a way to hard stop any of these types of effects. So we need something that can remove one of these things. Molten Collapse will be that for us. And it also functions as a removal spell. So this is a good dual usage for us. Moving on from there, we have the one of Surgical Extraction that you saw in the last video. This is good for the mirror match, good for things that, there's just a lot of graveyard strategies running around. This might save us in a pinch. Lightning Bolt here just because we may need 6 damage to get over the end. Fury is a lot of damage, but sometimes we just need one more. And then the cool spice that we're also running in this deck is Stalactite Stalker, a recent card from the Aftermath set from March of Machines, I believe. This is a 1-mana 1/1 with Menace that basically looks for the Descend to happen on your turn. This is just putting any card into your graveyard. This is from anywhere, so if this will be satisfied if we cast anything and it gets countered, if our Bowmasters dies for whatever reason, any of our creatures die, the Fable Reflection dying because this is a thing that our opponents want to remove. We have 4 fetch lands in the deck that will constitute to the Descend mechanic. And the Surveil from Raucous Theater can also do it as well. And then I didn't forget if I mentioned it, but sacrificing Grief and Fury to their own triggers is a thing. Swamp Cycling of Troll of Khazad-dûm will also make that happen as well. So this is like a very good long game threat that can really grow a lot if it's just left alone and unchecked. It's also removal if you want to put 3 mana into it. And then the final thing here, we are running 2 Cavern of Souls here to make sure that if we play any sort of blue deck, we can deal with the elementals, or we can make the elementals get through. Really, we're going to be doing this for elemental, not that it really, matches up with anything else. Some other interesting modal dual face cards here. We get to play 2 of the new ones here. Fel the Profane for 4 mana, destroy target creature, planeswalker, or pay 3 life for an untapped black source. And then the dual-colored one, Blood-Soaked Insight, is potentially good if we use things like our Fury or our Lightning Bolts in order to deal damage to the opponent. That makes this cheaper. Allows us to just exile some of our opponent's cards and use them. Or it's going to be a tapped red-black land, which is nice for us. So this is the deck. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this deck tech video. Hope you guys give the deck list a try in the video description. And while you're here, if you don't mind, like and comment on the video. Helps me out with the YouTube stuff. And subscribe for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday if you're new to the channel. Timeless is going to be a different format with the advent of all the pitch elementals. And I'm here to see what extent that's going to be. So let's hop into round 1 and see what Rakdos Scam has for us. It's round 1. Here we go. So let's see, what do we have in this opening? We do have a Demonic Tutor that can go find one of the pitch elementals, and then Not Dead After All is a good thing to continue that for us. I think I'm down to do this. We can keep 7 here. I can cycle the Troll of Khazad-dûm if I feel like paying 2 life here. We'll see what opponent's got. It's a swamp. Could it be a Pitchcast Grief? Reanimate. We will see. Looks like they're doing something here, so I would expect it to be Grief. It's a good thing that we have triple redundancy in our reanimation spell. It will be Grief. Let's see what they want to take from us. It's important that we get Troll or Blood-Soaked Insight left in our hand. They take the Demonic Tutor. That's fine. That is the way that we were going to find something here. Now, will there be a Reanimate? Looks like there will be. That is fine. We're going to Surgical Extraction. Paying 2 life here. And let's take that Grief from them. Perfect. So we know that they have a Troll left. Nothing much to do here. We see 1 Liliana, another Troll. Necropotence is in this deck. Edict, Art Ritual, Fatal Push, March of Sorrow, Thoughtseize. Deathrite Shaman will be 1. I actually don't see much other than these Griefs, so this is pretty nice. So we will take these, and our opponent is more or less going to be on the Troll of Khazad-dûm. So pretty good for us. No more Griefs for the opponent. The Surgical Extraction came in at literally the perfect time here. We're going to shock our Blood Crypt, I'd say, and then probably go looking for a land. Let's find Raucous Theater, because I don't think my opponent's going to be doing anything super aggressive. And if we find a pitch elemental, we're just doing Not Dead After All on it. Deathrite Shaman is here. This is another thing that we do want to get rid of. Not really going to be able to do that just yet. We find our own Grief here. We'll be able to take their own Troll. I'm not sure if that's super good, but I think the idea of playing a Not Dead After All is going to be really nice. So let's do that. We'll surveil. Let's see if we find a good creature on the top of the deck. Fury is a good creature, and so we want to make sure that we hold this Blood-Soaked Insight to pitch to that. So we will go ahead and we will hold full control, cast Grief here, exiling one Not Dead After All. Resolves, trigger goes on the stack here, and then we Not Dead After All after we target our opponent. And opponent says that we have it here. Pretty sweet. Fury was going to come back up as well. That would have been a total of 8 damage. 2 to whatever they play. Or, sorry, 2 to the Deathrite Shaman. Some of it to whatever their next play would have been. Could have been a Troll Reanimation or something. And then the rest to face. Pretty darn sweet. This only allows us to wipe their board. We don't get extra out of Fury. But then we would have had pretty much... I guess 9 power of attacking since Fury has double strike. This is a pretty good setup for us, and opponent agrees. So things that worked this game, Surgical Extraction, really nice. Really had that when we needed, honestly. You could consider playing more of these in your deck. I'm not one to really play that many of them, but having a Surgical Extraction on turn 1 was really nice here. There's going to be a lot of silver bullets for these scam archetypes. You got to watch out for the Vexing Bauble, like I mentioned, and definitely the Surgical Extraction is good for the mirror match. But that's enough after game analysis. Let's hop into round 2. Alright, it's the final round. Let's go. No griefs, unfortunately, and actually no lands either. This is not great. I think we're going to easily have a mulligan decision here. So will opponent. No pitch elementals here as well, and they've actually mulliganed as in addition. I think that finding grief could be very, very strong. Opponent goes first, which makes me a little wary of doing this, but we do find our grief on turn 3. Opponent has taken 3 mulligans. We're keeping this. We have 2 lands. I'm going to get rid of Not Dead After All. Okay, and we have them in mulligans. Looks like they were mulliganing for some combo, possibly even for a mirror match in pitch elementals, but we found the grief. We had a Not Dead After All. I would have probably discarded Orcish Bowmasters, one of the Not Deads. We go... actually, this doesn't quite work. We would have to go Raucous Theater turn 1. No, I would have had to discard Not Dead and Fable. Then we would Grief pitching Bowmasters. I would probably go Raucous Theater, then Cavern Souls turn 2, and then choose between Grief and Bowmasters. Hopefully shredding their hand, and then Not Deading After All. By the time they've taken 3 mulligans, 2 additional cards is just ruination for them. So, pretty good round 5, but that was way too fast. So let's go ahead and queue for one more. Hopefully the queues go quick. They have been so far. But yeah, definitely let me know in the comments how the pitch elementals have been feeling to you guys. It's definitely a noticeable effect in what people are playing and the power level that this format has. I am not in the position to advocate here nor there for a ban or anything, but if things get really homogenized, well, maybe we'll have to start thinking about it. Overall, I think that we just let it play out and see what happens. Really don't need to act early in these kind of things. And now that I'm taking a look at this hand, I want to mulligan one more time. We have a Fury here with nothing to take it back with. And we have Reanimate on Troll. I think this is a fine 6 to keep. And then the Surgical Extraction I'm going to get rid of here. Yorion Sky Nomad is here. I think I shocked Troll. We are going to Swamp Cycle for... we can find a Surveil land with our Bloodstained Mire. I think I'll just get a basic Swamp. We have access to red when we need it. And we're core black, so this is fine. Zagoth Triumph. Alright, let's see what's going on here. I can reanimate. I can hold up Bowmasters. I think Reanimate's a good start. Let's Surveil first. See if there's something better to get back. A Fable's a good 3rd turn draw. We'll Reanimate here, taking a Troll. Go to 12. And hopefully they don't have removal on turn 2. In Sultai, I could see it happening though. So let's try to dodge 2 mana removal here and move on with our day. Flooded Strand, not looking super great. They are immediately fetching. I may lose my Troll of Khazad-dûn. Oh yeah, they're definitely shocking in. Oh, it's just Up the Beanstalk. Okay, so this is Up the Beanstalk with Pitch Elementals. So this is a deck that is absolutely on my radar here. Well, Orcish Bowmasters is going to be a really good one to hold up here. So will Fable of the Mirror Breaker, though. I think we do attack. Put them to 11. Fury kills Pitch Elementals, and we'll probably want to do that after drawing another red card. I think I go Fable here, try to get some gas early. You have to match them. And the question is, do they scam here, or do they just go for some Up the Beanstalk? We have to watch out for Solitude. Solitude takes out our Troll, and that kind of sucks. But it does give us life back, so it's fine. I'm just worried about a Pitch Elemental that stays on the battlefield. There's Fury. Fury just kills our 2/2, unless they scam. So they're gonna assign their damage, and I think they do want to scam here. Yeah, they're gonna scam. Okay, so they threw 2 to Troll. Yeah, okay, sure, this works out. And not dead after all. We'll come down here, sure. Draws off of Up the Beanstalk as well, which is nice for them. Alright, so here comes Fury back in. My Fury takes out theirs, though, which is good. Troll will get finished off here. We did get an attack. That brought us even with opponents, so it's not the end of the world. I do need to find something to pitch here, though. I'm going to get rid of the Bloodstained Mire and one of the Bowmasters, praying to find a red card. Reanimate. I can go to 6 if I want to. That's a little scary, though. Raucous Theater doesn't get me there either. I think I just have to Orcish Bowmaster's sack here, or like Sacrificial Block. We now have Hardcast Fury, which is good. I think I keep the Bloodstained Mire. We're going to pass here and see what happens when they attack. Otawara. And it looks like it'll be an attack. We're going Bowmasters here. Dealing a damage to face. If they want to pitch cast anything, they'll need to do it now. Otherwise, I get extra value through their Beanstalk draw. They're going to do Subtlety here. Fine. Would I like this on the top or bottom of my library? I think in this case, we might want to put it on the top. Unless I decide to Reanimate here. Reanimate can get a Bowmasters, so I think I'll just go ahead and put this on the bottom. Yeah, and then we'll still retain the Bloodstained Mire on top. Good. The Fury hitting us for a bunch is not good, though. Well, Bloodstained Mire takes us to 3, which then means we die to Subtlety. Unfortunately, I think we don't have an out here. Getting the land gives me Fury, and then I kill Subtlety, so that's fine. We have to do this. We'll find our red land. Definitely feels a little awkward. But we are going to have a Hasty Reflection of Kiki Jiki next turn. Alright, so we go 1, 2, submit 2, make sure that we deal 3 damage to this guy. And there we go. We need a way to kill Fury. This actually doesn't quite work out for me. I think we will end up taking the L here. We'll see what Up the Beanstalk has for them. They have the opportunity to hardcast a bunch of things now. 4-color Pitch Elementals with Beanstalk, pretty nice. Rafine's Tower, so we know that they're in all 5 colors. This is just everything. They'll go Oko here. If they decide to Oko one of my creatures, we just use it as a blocker. Totally fine. Easy block here. Alright, and now what happens? We found a Surgical. Does Surgical hit anything? Not really. My reanimation targets are a little minimum. I can go to 1 with a Bowmasters. And that's about it. Well, that's not great. Reanimate. Copy with Reflection. That deals a decent amount of damage. I think I do need to go to 1. Oh, I guess I could take their Subtlety. No, what am I saying? That kills me, like, very obviously. It has to be my Orcish Bowmasters. Go to 1. Let's put a damage on them. I think it's going to come to a point where we just need to kill. And I can at least see what's in their hand if it comes down to it. Another subtlety would be kind of a pain, but it is what it is. No attackers because we're going to be doing kiki-jiki things. Copying our Bowmasters. We'll wait till after the attack unless they activate Oko. And the question is, can we limp over the finish line? Hard to say. Kind of not looking like it though with 1 life left. Alright, so they're going to elk my Reflection. Let's copy our Bowmasters, get another 1/1 out. We do now have a blocker. We get to hit them. We get to make sure that we lose our 1/1. That is going to get sacked at the end. Expressive Iteration, sure. Does not trigger Beanstalk, but not everything needs to. We'll find a Bloodstained Mire as well, fine. And what is the next play? 4 mana, so they can't hardcast anything that gets up the Beanstalked. Fairy Time Raveler makes sense. I don't think I'm casting Surgical Extraction. And they can send any one of my cards back. They are getting a little bit close to death, though. There is a world where I'm just able to kill in 1 shot, too. I think the fairy needs to minus. They're actually not going to. They must have a pitch elemental in hand then. They don't attack. We get to keep this around. Fury's going to block now. Grief is almost really good. We're just going to hardcast a Grief. Alright, well, Grief is going to be good because it has Menace. I'll be able to take a creature from their hand, hopefully. They have a Leyline Binding and a Solitude and an Omnath. That's brutal. I'm fine gaining life with the Solitude. The Solitude would go away once they cast it. Leyline Binding does sit around. It also triggers for them. They would need to pitch for the Solitude, so I think I take the Leyline Binding. And that does put them in actually not the best position, to be quite honest. We can block their Fury. It doesn't have Trample. To fairy bouncing most of my things is like a benefit to me. They can bounce my 2/2, I suppose. But that's fine. They're actually going to give me Bowmasters back, surprisingly enough. That's fine for me. Here goes Omnath. Omnath draws. And it's on the 3rd landfall trigger that we take damage. Here's a Scalding Tarn. Get some mana here. And then what gets cast? They can hardcast Solitude, right? Yeah, they can. They're going to take a Yorion instead. Yorion will be really nice here. They now have blockers for Grief. And they'll gain some life here. That's a problem for me. This Oko is going to be a huge issue. And I was feeling pretty okay about this, but now I'm less confident. Surgical, does Surgical hit anything? We did know about the Solitude. There's no Solitude in the graveyard. I can take a Subtlety, but we know that 2 of their 4 cards are not that. I'm not really sure that this Surgical would be very good. Leyline Binding we discarded. Yeah, it's hard to say. If I attack with Grief, I can Bowmaster. stirs, but then Fury kills it immediately. Yeah, kind of hard to say. I think we just let Grief sit and let Bowmaster sit in hand. We're gonna try to make this happen as long as possible. And I almost forgot that they have a Teferi on the battlefield, which is an issue. We're definitely not attacking, and then we are definitely going with Bowmasters here. Let's deal some damage to Teferi, I think. We want to keep Teferi off of the -3. Although the -3 was not that impactful. I think we go face, try to keep them a little low. They gain 3 life a turn though, so that's maybe not the smartest thing. It is what it is. It's looking as if they're going to have the strength to dig themselves out of this one. Teferi and Oko going to be super strong together. It was unfortunate that our Fury wasn't able to come in here. Will they attack? Will they do something? What's going on? Sure. And what elemental are we casting? Is it Solitude? Solitude exiles my Bowmasters, which I would not feel good about. We can take away the stop in their end turn since I won't have priority here. Will be Solitude. What's it going to take? Up the Beanstalk draws. We do get to stop Teferi from bouncing something next turn. Now we have a 4/4. As soon as this thing gets big enough, I'm definitely attacking with it. Right, we go to 2. Oko probably makes more food, and they get even further away from death. Oko is going to take my Grief for me. That's not great. I was kind of hoping on being able to not dead after all that. Fable of the Mirror Breaker is a nice one. Were it to resolve, they might be able to subtlety it. No Cyanize here, and that will be the final 2 that takes me out. Pretty strong game here by the 5-color Beanstalk deck. A lot of good cards in this thing. I am planning a Bant Beanstalk deck, which I know to be a pretty strong archetype just in general. Looking to use our Solitudes, our Endurances, and our Subtleties in order to get a lot of profit. And yeah, I think this is a definite good look at something like an Is It build as well. Ionize is a pretty solid one. You get to run Subtlety and Fury. You could maybe even do Jeskai Pitch Elementals, which would be really strong. I'm a little hazy on trying to do a full 5-color like this, but they've seemed to make it work. So all in all, pretty cool deck, pretty cool build here, and we'll end things off here in the final round as my voice is kind of starting to give out here. Hope you guys enjoyed the build here of this deck. I thought that Rakdos was a lot of fun. Definitely added some things that the mono black version did not have. It's, like I mentioned in every video, going to be a very different format with all the modern Horizon 3 cards, and I think it's going to be a very exciting next few months for this format. With that being said, like and comment on the video to help with the YouTube stuff. Subscribe if you're new for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'll see you in the next video.